Welcome back. This is Newsfile. It's your most authoritative news analysis platform. And here on Newsfile, as always, we put Ghana first. And here is Samson's take. Publish your assets and liabilities. President John Mahama, you have just told your appointees that you expect of them to declare their assets by the end of March. Sounds good, because you have done yours and you expect them to follow suit. The Constitution, however, requires that the assets ought to be declared before assumption of office, not after assumption of office. Yes, I agree, because the law we passed in 1998 made room, said you can declare before and you declare again every 4 years at the end of your tenure. But it gave a grace period of 6 months within which you can do it. The grace period is clearly unlawful in the face of the Constitution, because the Constitution says, declare before you assume office. To the extent that this law still sits on our statute books and has not been declared, as unlawful or inconsistent with the Constitution, or has not been repealed, you cannot be faulted. But the campaign has been for the assets so declared to be verified and to be publicized. How sad that in 1992, a PNDC law allowed for the assets to be verified and for publication of same. The PNDC military regime that was beginning to reform itself allowed for the publication of the assets that public officers, declare. In a democracy, we can't do this one thing that was done in a military regime. The assets so declared must be verified and they must be publicized. In Senegal, the young man just took office without any compulsion. He declared his assets and published them. He said, I have 2 houses, I have 2 cars. What is it about the asset declaration that we need 6 months grace period within which to do after we have assumed office? What is it? Is it that you guys in political office, in public office, you have so much, you have a world of wealth that it will take you 6 months to write them down on a piece of paper and to show to the Auditor General that this is what you have? Those of you who have just gone into office, what is the big deal? If you have a house, you can't put that on paper that I have a house. You need 6 months to do that. If you have a car, you can't put on a piece of paper that you have a car. You can't do that within minutes before you assume office. We must give you 6 months grace period to do that. It is very clear that the 6 months grace period on constitutional insertion by Parliament in 1998 was intended for you, the politicians, or those of you who must declare your assets, to find time, settle in, and plan how to steal and put them in the declaration, because nobody is going to open it up. And once you are done, you would have stolen and get away with it. Again, Mr. President, this is not just your asset you are supposed to declare. It's your assets and liabilities. People owe, taking loans and so on and so forth. It ought to be stated in there. It's a no-brainer that this ought to be done. In 2020, 2021, Occupy Ghana, part of this campaign, wrote to the Attorney General because Occupy Ghana planned to sue. The Attorney General agreed that the insertion of the 6 months grace period is unconstitutional and that steps were being taken to reverse it. Gloria Efua-Akufu agreed that this was unconstitutional. What is the big deal? I don't understand. Please, don't only declare your assets, declare your liabilities, let them be verified, and let them be published. The conduct of public officers bill, one has sat in Parliament almost 2 decades without any attention. A new one that was tied to the IMF process has also not been passed. What are you guys afraid of? You want to be in public office? You don't want us to know your asset so you can steal?